Hey, y'all. It is me, SonjaW, with another podcast. And I am here just to make sure that we can assist you with starting off your week with a little less chaos. Okay, y'all. So I am super excited about today because this day we're going to talk about how I'm able to keep my mind clear and how it helps with making sure that you can have an intentional week every week. Okay. So listen. We're going to talk about, of course, that one good thing that we always talk about. All right. Then we're going to talk about what's on the docket for us this week. And then we're going to break down in our intentional topic how to get out of our head, how to get it out of our head. Okay. And then finally, we're going to end with prayer because we want to make sure that everything is sealed, everything is set up with prayer. Okay. So let me get into it. All right. So listen. Okay. So, of course, I need to make a decision. I'm still trying to decide if I'm gonna keep calling it one good thing or if I'm going to call it my good things. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Tell me in the comments. Because every single week I never only have one good thing. I always got a couple, right? And again, the whole point to talking about that one good thing or talking about that good thing is to get our mindset ready and able to get forward and to go forward, and to do great things this next week. Okay. So listen. All right. So my good things, y'all. Number one, I made it. I made it. So I don't know. Did I talk about it in last week's podcast? I don't remember. But my church is having their 21 days of prayer, right? And we have it twice a year. January is prayer and fasting. August is just prayer. You can fast if you want to, but the church in general is not fasting. Now, of course, I fast on my own different things, but let me tell you that right now, we are praying this season. Okay. All right. Anyway, so this season is Pray 21 for our church, where we pray from 6 to 7 together as a body, as a church body, at our campuses, and then at 9 a.m. on Saturdays, right? And I have been really being focused on exercise and making sure that I get my workout in, right? And so I made the decision that I was going to wake up a half hour earlier, which is 4:30 actually, and get to the gym, work out, and then go to prayer. And y'all, I did it. I did it. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I was able to get it done and I could not feel better. I could not feel better for several reasons. One, because I got my body moving, right? And of course, that's always going to make me feel better. But then two, it actually felt good to keep that commitment to myself, to be consistent in a promise to myself. And I've talked about that, how it's so important to be able to make and keep your own promises. Because when you're able to keep promises to yourself, then you feel a whole lot more confident in actually doing other things. Because if you can keep a promise to yourself, then you could definitely keep a promise to somebody else. You can definitely feel more confident in who you are and your ability because you decided to make a promise and keep it. So I was able to do it for this first week, and we're going to get back at it and do it next week. And I mean, that's also why this is pre-recorded. If you didn't already know, we pre-recorded these. Now, I'm typically live every Monday morning at 7 a.m., but I did that this Monday and I felt the way because I wanted to be in the building for prayer. So we pre-recording these for the month of August. All right. But it's still gonna be good because I'm gonna be on the comments with y'all. I'm gonna be in the comments with y'all. So go ahead and let me know that y'all are in the comments and that you are getting your week together. Let me know your good things. Okay. So I told you, one, I made it. And then second of all, I redid my dream week. So last week we talked about our dream week and what would it be if we had our best week ever, right? And as we were talking about it, I realized that I needed to actually redo my dream week. So I got my dream week done. Now, listen, this is so sad. I have a printer, but it don't be printing right. So this looks better in person. But this is the last page of my dream week template, and I went ahead and redid my dream week, and I'm super excited about that. And then I put it in my planner. So it's neater in the planner, but I'm like so proud of myself because I was able to redo the dream week and make it look all nice and all the things you can see. I keep it in pencil because life changes, and I think that's one of the things that I try to teach as we talk about intentional living. The whole point to being intentional in how you live is to build systems and to build your life around your values, but then also around systems that will help you move. So, of course, life is going to be different. Life is going to change. Things are going to happen. In life, there is change. So I keep my dream week in pencil. All right. But anyway, so I was able to get those two things done, and I'm so happy right now. Like, so happy. So those are my good things. I would love to know, what are your good things? Go ahead and put those in the comments below or wherever they are right now. Okay. We'll go ahead and put down what's your good thing, and then tell me what you got on the docket for this week. Tell me what you got planned before this week. Because remember, the whole point to this podcast is to get us ready for our week, right? By doing that weekly review, by taking time to actually look and see, okay, this is what my week looks like. What do I need to shift or move to be able to be as effective as I need to be, right? So for me, on the docket this week is that I'm gonna have some fun with my family. Now pray for me because I'm going to an amusement park that is strictly for kids. And I'm like, the introvert in me is a little scared, okay? Because I'm like, there's gonna be a lot of people, but I share so much with y'all. Listen, anyway, I'm excited to enjoy my family, enjoy my niece and nephew, enjoy seeing them have fun. But I'm also like, Lord, is there gonna be like a quiet space that I can like decompress? Is there gonna be some place where I could just be quiet? Is there? I don't know. So that's what's so that's what's gonna happen for me. And then also, I'm gonna make sure that I pre-record the rest of the podcast for this month, sometime that week as well, because I want to make sure that I got everything together and in line, you know. So that's what I have on the docket for this week. Okay, what do y'all have on the docket? What y'all gonna be doing? What's gonna be happening with y'all this week? Okay, again, it's so important to make sure that you are taking the time to actually see what you're doing. We don't let life happen to us. We direct our life according to what God calls us to do and according to where we see ourselves moving, right? We don't let life just happen, because enough of life just happens, right? But we like to control and figure out what makes sense for the life that we want to live. And then that gives us the space to, one, dream, because that's the whole point. I want you to be able to dream, to actually make those dreams that you have meet reality, right? But then two, you have the space and the room in your life to let life happen, because it's not going to be perfect, right? Everything's not going to be perfect. Everything is not going to come the way that you want it to come. But when we're able to have stand on values, when we're able to have systems that allow us to walk through life easier, then when life starts to go crazy, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Okay. All right, y'all. So let's get into the intentional topic of the week. And it is, get it out of your head. Get it out of your head. So we started this series called Programmed Focus last week, where we're just going to be talking about, and this what is it, series, there we go, it's probably going to be on for a little bit of time. But the whole point to having programmed focus is that you're able to build systems in your life that allow you to focus a little bit better. Last week we talked about the dream week, right? How you can set up the structure of your week for the best week, your dream week, right? And that way it allows you to maneuver when life comes at you fast. So for instance, you know that you got your morning routine and you wake up at 5 a.m. You know that you go grocery shopping every, I don't know, Thursday evening, right? So when life changes, oh, I got a doctor's appointment. Dang, I can't go grocery shopping. You actually, with your weekly review, are able to make the changes that you need to make, right? So that was last week. So then this week is a process of getting it out of your head. I want to convince you that it's not good to keep it all up here. I want to convince you that the more that you can get down on paper or on a trusted mechanism to help you organize your life, the better you are, that the better you're going to be at reacting rightly, thinking clearly, and all of those things. Okay. So I actually got this concept. This is not an original concept of mine. I always knew that having things in my head doesn't work. So I used to always write lists. But then I started learning about this process through the GTD, Getting Things Done method by David Allen, right? Amazing productivity guy. But he talked about this concept of mind like water, right? And he talked about this concept in which you have a mind that is so clear that it actually reacts appropriately to the stimulus that happens, right? When you have all these things on your mind and all these stressors on your mind, small things that shouldn't affect you that much actually turn into big things, right? Let's think about it a little bit. Okay. So think about a river, right? You are looking at this beautiful, pristine river and you throw, and there's nothing going. It's just still, right? There's that smooth or very small ripple that a river makes, right? And you throw a rock. What happens? They begin to have these rings that kind of go out, right? And if the rock is small, those rings are a little smaller. If the rock is big, then those rings of turbulence make it are a little bit bigger, right? But let's think about a rushing wave. You are already just choppy. Your water is just full of all types of turbulence. When you throw a small rock in, what happens? It gets engulfed. You don't react the way that you need to because one, you already on 10, right? But then two, you may not even notice the stimulus that happened. Or perhaps a big rock gets thrown in there, right? Well, then all mayhem goes loose, right? You have your life literally is all the way topsy turvy because your stasis or your life is already choppy, right? Does that make sense? So just thinking about it, the idea is to literally get all of those things out of your mind so that your mind is clear, so that your mind is that nice, gentle river that is just flowing how it needs to flow, right? So one of the things, I always talk about this example where, you at the beginning of the day, right? You got all these things that you got to do. Okay, I got to drop off my child. I got to go to the post office today. I got to do some other stuff. Oh, don't forget, Sonia, you need to get milk from the supermarket today. Don't forget. How many times you tell yourself don't forget, but that's the thing that you forget, right? So you got all this stuff going on in your head, and then you're at work, and all you can think about is don't forget that milk. Don't forget that milk. Don't forget that milk. So now you can't react to the things that are happening at work because in the back of your head, all you're thinking about is the fact that you got to go to the post office. You gotta don't forget that milk now. You gotta do this, you gotta do that, right? So work, you're stressed, you're feeling all types of crazy, right? Then you come to the end of your day, you got through work, you actually did drop off your child on time. You got to the post office and now you're at the supermarket. What do? What happens? You forget that milk. And it was because it was in your mind. And it was not some place where you can trust that you'll remember it. So that's the whole point and the whole reason to get it out of your head. You want a mind like water. You want a mind that reacts appropriately to the circumstances and the things that happen around you. So how do we get to this mind like water? How do we get there? I'm going to give you 3 things that I want you to do. I want you to remember so that you can have that mind like water. Okay. We're going to break these down real quick. The first one is to remember that a clear mind works best. A mind that doesn't have a lot of extra stuff flowing in it, going through it, and all that kind of stuff works the best. Have you ever tried to multitask, right? We think that we're good multitaskers, but actually, research shows that you're not that good. That it's actually better that you're able to focus on one thing and one thing at a time. Okay. So the goal is to get a clear mind, get it out of your head, get it down on something that you trust and that you believe or know that you will be able to come back to. Make a habit. The second thing is to make a habit of writing it down. Write whatever is going on in your mind down. Either you have a note on your phone, you have your own planner that's a paper planner, you have a notebook in which you write your to-do list or whatever down. Make sure that you're writing it down, that you're taking the time to, oh, that just popped up in my head, write it down. One thing that sometimes I do when I pray, one of the things that happens when I pray is that all the thoughts, all the things that I have to get done run through my head. So sometimes what I do is I literally have a pad of paper beside me, or I may have my phone. I try not to have my phone because then I end up on TikTok, right? But I have a piece of paper beside me and I'm writing those things down so that I can focus on the task at hand. That's so important to do in this intentional living life because we're trying to get to mind like water, right? So, number one was remember that a clear mind works best. And number two, make a habit of writing it down. The third thing is to find a system that works for you. Another phenomenon with this whole idea of getting it out of your head is that you may start to write things down, but unless you trust the system in which you are using, you're still going to have it in your head. So I encourage you to take some time to figure out what's the best way to do what you need to do. What is the best way to get you to mind like water? Is it having a note on your phone? Is it having your planner and having a list? Or is it having a notebook where you just keep lists that you cross off? Whatever works best for you is the best thing to get your mind like water. For me, what I do is I kind of do a combination of the two, right? I have my list in my phone. So, like, whenever I'm thinking about something, I may write it down on my phone, or if I'm in prayer, I try to write it down on a notebook that I have. Um, and then if it's something that I need to transfer to my planner for the day, I do that before I start work or whatever. Or if I can just keep it in the phone, I keep it there. And I trust these systems that I have. So once it's in that list on my phone or in my planner, I don't think about it again. I don't think about it again. I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know what that is. What is that? I don't remember. Oh, let me go look at my list. And then of course there's more to this method, right? You're taking time to actually schedule time for the things that you need to do and all that kind of stuff. So the key thing is that you're finding a system that works best for you so that you can get to this clear mind, so you can get to this space where you are reacting to life in the way that you need to react to it. That things aren't out of proportion because you already got a million things on your mind that's stressing you. That things are in the right order, in the right reaction zone so that you do what you need to do. All right. I could talk some more about this. I have so much, like even going through therapy, just talking to my therapist about it. She actually came up with told me about this concept. And I forgot the name of the concept, but that's a whole nother thing that's so cool to learn about. All right. But anyway, I could talk about this all day. I'm gonna stop now because we're getting up on our 20-minute mark, right? And this is the time, a quick 20 minutes that we get together to get it done, to start our week off with a little less chaos. All right. So let's get into this Dreamboost prayer. All right, let's go. Lord, help us. Help us to get it out of our heads. Help us to get out of our heads. Help us to learn how to not dwell on all the things that we need to do and show us how to organize strategically so that we can have the clarity that we need. All right, y'all. Well, that was it for today now. Now go ahead in the comments. Let me know what you're doing this week. Let me know how you're going to apply this whole idea of mind like water, of getting it out of your head. I would love to know how you are going to be just a little bit more intentional this week. All right. Bye, y'all.